Lots of voices in his head and zero choices in his bed. Comedian Tyler Fischer.
She couldn't answer one question about what she would do differently than Biden. She could have said, I won't fall off a bike. I won't fall up the stairs. She could have said, I won't die as president. What a layup. I won't die. He could be the first president to be assassinated by time. She'll be the first president to be assassinated by stupidity. Think of that.
I mean, it was all fun and games. Frequent gut-filled guest, comedian Tyler Fischer, has been blacklisted now from coming on the show or any show on Fox for that matter. Why? Because Fox apparently went full woke. That's what he's saying. Jang, did you ever expect Fox News, of all places, to be described as woke?
Well, look, when you go as right as you can on MAGA, nothing's gonna surprise you. I mean, one day they'll say, oh, Trump is too woke, right? So, okay, but that's not the situation here. When I saw the headline that Fox is being accused of having the woke mind virus and banning this guy, I thought, what in the world did this guy do to make Fox News do that? It must have been pretty bad. So let's find out.
We'll see. How does it measure up to what we heard about O'Reilly? How is Fox woke? Why did Fischer get banned? Well, according to Fischer, it's because he asked a Fox employee out for coffee. On X, here's the statement. After almost 2 years, I will no longer be on Gutfeld, the TV show. Sadly, they have gone full woke and kicked me off for a reason that is beyond hard to believe. What was my woke crime? I asked an employee out for coffee. Yes, that is why I'm off the show. I have proof of all of this and am seeking legal counsel for defamation because this is absolutely insane. It is not illegal or against any rules at Fox to ask a grown adult for coffee, but in the woke mind virus world, any advance by man is labeled as some kind of toxic masculinity. This is why men have stopped approaching women in real life off dating apps, because being chivalrous and doing what men have done forever, showing interest in women by offering to take them on a date, is now turned into a crime. He's exploring his options. But the flirty little interaction, as he put it, with the Daily Mail, it's not as simple as that, according to a source with knowledge of the situation. Fischer grabbed the female employee's cell phone, put his number in her contacts list, and then demanded to know if she got the number. It wasn't a friendly thing, the source said. According to Fischer, after approaching the woman, he was accompanied by security to Gutfeld's set for the show. Afterwards, he left and his prearranged appearances were canceled. He says the show has ghosted him, refused to have a conversation about any of this. They claim to hate wokeness, but it is all empty words. They won't back it up even for one of their top recurring guests. I've been on for nearly 2 years without being paid a dime. They pay the rotating guests zero, even though we work our asses off to prep for an episode. We work just as hard as Greg and the 2 regular guests who all get paid. Fischer continued on this tirade. You are treated like an intern, not like a professional guest. We all travel, give up work to be there and write our own material, not to mention they will throw you under the bus and take the side of a woke, indoctrinated, radical feminist instead of their loyal guests. Now keep in mind, this man has only been on 16 episodes of the show since it launched in 2015. So, do the math. As Greg likes to ask me every show, Tyler, what would Trump say about this? Well, he would say everything woke goes to S. That show had a lot of potential, but with no spine or balls to back up the things they make fun of it. I will likely wither away over time. It will, the show, he's saying, will likely wither away over time. The ratings will drop just like CNN. That's probably the biggest insult. And it will fail, sad, he ends it as Trump would. I don't know where to start with this. Is Fox now woke after, what was it, 700 and X amount $million, $750 million and getting sued? And I mean, I know that was about fake news, but a lot came out of that and all the other sexual harassment lawsuits. But I guess just where do we land on this one, Jank?
Yeah, so look, there's a couple of things here. Things we know and things we don't know. What actually happened in that interaction, we don't know. Okay, so we'll let the court settle that if he really does sue them. So here's what I do know. Fox News does not have the woke mind virus. Okay, and they're not like, oh, let's find who of our guests we can cancel because they're too right wing. There wouldn't be anybody left in the building. So that's not the right answer. So, and that leads to a third thing I know. Some folks on the right can't get it through their heads that the workplace is not like other places. Okay, so when you go out to a bar and you want to ask someone out, that's normal. When you're in a workplace environment and you super aggressively ask out a woman, that is an entirely different thing, right? Then there's enormous set of complications, right? Do you work there? And if you do work there, are you above her, below her? Are you in her, chain of command in a manner of speaking? Do you get to make decisions about her employment? Are you making her uncomfortable? How much so, et cetera? Is this a friendly interaction that's being misinterpreted? Or is it something where you're actually harassing her? And so there's all of these things that go into it. And if you say, no, there shouldn't be any rules like that at work, come on, guys. Like you could argue, hey, I got some issues with some rules around the edges. Okay, that's a normal conversation. Where should we set the parameters, right? But if you say, no, we shouldn't have rules and guys should be able to go out and go, all right, now, if you don't go out with me, you're gonna get fired. No, we're not gonna go back to that. That's crazy talk, right? So, again, I can't guess at what happened in that particular incident, but the idea that Fox News was just too liberal seems less likely. Brian, what do you think?
Well, look, I'm not a lawyer, but I play one on TV. And if I had been advising this fellow, I would have said, first, when you're speaking to the press, don't say that you undertook a minor flirtation thing. The F word is never supposed to be used in the workplace post 1991. Why? Because millions of women around America got together and marched and they said, we don't like being objectified at work by dudes asking us out. I don't even want you to compliment my outfit. I don't want you to tell me I'm pretty. They said loud and clear. So HR departments around the country said, boom, no more. Can't say that. Why? Because it makes us vulnerable legally and women don't like it, and we're going to advocate for them. And thus began an incredible wave of justice for women in the workplace. And whether you agree with how it turned out or not, the rules of the road are really clear now. And so as a fake attorney, I would just say to anyone who's undertaking any notion of flirting with an employee, a colleague, or just sidling up to the desk and sitting there and saying, hey, give me your phone, I want to give you my number. You can't do it now. That's just not, you just can't. That's not, and I always find it really funny, guys hate being objectified. A lot of guys hate gay guys because they think they're being objectified by gay guys. They hate the feeling of they're looking at me in the locker room and they're, I know that dude is into me just the way, and I've had this conversation with other men, actually a lot of gay guys aren't looking at other guys at all like that. But your phobia of that being objectification, that objectification is what women feel when they're at work and some dude is being a predator. They don't like that either. So, I try to explain this idea that it's just, just keep it to yourself. I don't know.
It's impossible. And what you said resonated. I don't know, first of all, a woman who everybody I talk to, we don't even have to get deep. We both have the same story, And those same guys who think every gay guy wants them, think every woman wants them, okay? It's the same mentality. And I gotta tell you, anytime I hear about something at Fox. On my very first job, I happened to work with somebody who was already famous and then went on to Fox to become one of their biggest stars. And when he was accused of things later on and the details leaked, this reporter knows it's true because I had it happen to me and it was disgusting and you feel powerless. And people say, oh, why don't you just report it? Why don't you just, guess what? I worked hard. Just like you, just like a lot of people, we work hard. It's not going to work out for us if we say something here. That's just the way it goes. And so I don't know what happened with the comedian, Mr. Fischer. And like Jenk said, maybe it'll be decided in the courts. Who knows? Maybe he'll do a skit about it. Maybe he'll go on the road with it. But if it went down the way this source, sometimes very leery of these anonymous sources, don't touch my phone. Don't touch me or my phone and assume that I want your number, okay? Don't.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think in grabbing someone's phone and or it's a violation of personal space. You're in my world, you're in my digital world. The rules of the road are always evolving, but it's still, it's still offensive. And I don't know what happened either. I don't know what the guy said to her. I just think it's funny. He forgot. You're supposed to say all the misogynist stuff on TV.
Yeah.
Not in the break room.
In character.
If it's on TV on Fox, it's cool. But if it's in the hallway or in the office, that's a no-no.
Yeah, but that goes to the last thing I was going to say. Look, guys, it's not that complicated a thing to realize there's a time and place for everything. We used to know that, right? And so like the place to objectify each other is at a bar and a club, right? Well, we do. Men objectify women, women objectify men, okay? And so there are plenty of places where that happens, but it's not in the workplace. And in the workplace, by the way, there are sometimes complicated rules. Like, so you can date someone in a different division, but you can't date someone in the same division, et cetera, right? So boo-hoo. Yeah, there are rules in the world. Right? And sometimes, like I got to figure out, can I do that or can I not do that? And work is a very normal, logical place where that happens, right? And so grown-ups adjust to that. And here, I'll give one last example from a guy's perspective. Brian used his perspective, I'll use my perspective. So, if we were at a bar and somebody objectified me and said, hey, you know what? You're too overweight, I don't want to go out with you. Hey, that's life, brother. Okay, that's how it goes, right? But if you're at work and they're like, no, we don't want to give you a promotion because you're too overweight. Wait, what? No, that's not how it works, right? So like time and place, not that complicated. But if you want to be a victim, then you cry and you say, oh, I was just, grabbing her phone. I mean, you guys are so right about the phone. My contacts are in my phone. My pictures are in my phone. No, you don't get to hold my phone and do whatever you want with it, et cetera, right? And if you can't understand these simple concepts, then you're gonna run into trouble all the time in your life.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just the reality. But I've been lucky not to be objectified by anyone. So what would I know?
I don't believe that for a second.
Nah, come on. Charmer.
Sure. But Brian, you also gave me an idea. Trump loves the fake news, and he's a fake populist and all that stuff. You should pitch him as his fake lawyer. He might like it.
I have thought about that, and I thought about just as a side hustle, like being one of his attorneys and just being the fake attorney that advises him
on TV,
and just purely out of just selfish monetary gain. I could, but I feel like I've learned enough on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia to advise him, and that's how bad his lawyers are. That I feel empowered somehow that I could give him a few tips here and there. Yeah,
I think he'd take your advice. Yeah, no, he'd probably say, let Brian speak last.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I mean, the guy with the tariffs. What is his name? He's a fraud. I mean, why not? I'm a fraud. I could be a total fraud attorney. I think you've got, dude. I'm gonna go for it.
You're talking about Navarro.
And
Navarro.
Jeez.
Yeah, and he likes stars. You know, he
Loves them.
That's right. And
Unless they shun him, then he hates them.
Yeah. No. I know. I've got to pursue this.
No, we're onto something here. We're onto something. Okay, we're gonna workshop it. We'll get back to it.
Let's do it.
Okay, and by the way, guys, I should have told you this in the beginning of the show. I should have told you several different times, but we're gonna announce something pretty dramatic next week. So buckle up for that. And if you made it all the way to the end of this bonus episode on a Friday night, then you get to be the ones to find out first. So something dramatic next week, a plan to maybe take over the Democratic Party. And how are we gonna do that? Well, let's find out, isn't it? Okay.
Sounds fun.
Hell of a tease. Yeah.
How's that for a tease for whoever's left? Anyways, all right, much love.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.